Hi, everybody. Thank you again for joining me on another series of PGX Clinical Pearls. Today, we're going to be talking about methylation. My name is Behnaz Sarrami. I'm the pharmacist and medical science liaison for IDgenetix. So to talk about methylation, we kind of have to go back and see where the origins of it came from, which is really epigenetics. So epigenetics is any environmental factors that can cause a change in the way our genes work. It came about towards the end of World War II. It's called Hunger Winter. It took place in German occupied Netherlands. There were some of them, they were cut off from food, and some people had only access to soup. So as you can imagine, a lot of people died from famine. So scientists wanted to find out what was the effect of famine on human health. And they noticed that children or pregnant women that were exposed to famine were more susceptible to mental health conditions and cardiovascular issues and things like that. So epigenetics is really the source of it is really what's going on is really methylation. Methylation really has a lot of important effect in the body. It regulates how we respond to stress, turns gene off and on, controls inflammation, detoxification, regulates mental health, which we're going to be focused on today, and enhances immune function. So because of COVID, there's been a lot of studies about that and methylation. So if you look at my angry COVID in the middle, if you think of methylation as adding a methyl group, or putting a cap on these little spikes on the virus, it neutralizes it so the body can actually fight better. So really that's another aspect of when it comes to immune support, the methylation. So methylation decreases as we age. So if you look on the left-hand side down here, these little black circles are methylation, or what happens is they kind of block the little spaces in between DNA, so there's no mutation going on. But as we age, as you see, methylation decreases, and now we have exposed area on the DNA where mutation can happen. So you can over-methylate a patient or a person, and you have symptoms as you see on the left, or you can be under-methylated. So finding the right balance is also key. So where do you even find the source of methylation is really the MTHR gene. So MTHR gene is actually the code for the enzyme MTHR, which converts the inactive folate or folic acid into an active form that the body can use. And really, again, we've talked about this MTHR cycle in another YouTube video, but folic acid or folate are inactive, needs the MTHR to activate them. And when that happens, this is the activated form. It combines with a little bit of B12 that we have in our body and a small amount of homocysteine that we have in our body. It converts that to methionine and eventually SAMe. And you can see here, some people actually take a supplement to bypass this whole cycle. So SAMe is what gives the methyl donor, and CompT, which we've talked about in another YouTube video, processes the methylation, does all the methylation, which really breaks down catechol like dopamine, norepi, and epi. So if you can imagine, if this cycle is really not functioning efficiently for a patient, you can have folic acid or folate not being processed. So that's why a lot of patients take folic acid during pregnancy. So if you're not able to convert it, you'll have a lot of pregnancy issues, especially since you'll have a buildup of homocysteine, which causes a lot of inflammation for patients with childbearing age. And so a lot of people will actually take a SAMe, B12, or active form of folic or folic acid. So here's a case study of a 32-year-old female who has hypothyroidism and anxiety. As you can see, it took from August 2014 to February 2015 to actually get her mentally stable. So what happened, she was a heterozygous for MTHR gene. So her MTHR wasn't functioning efficiently. That cycle was not really efficiently working. So she was put on the active form of folic acid or folate, which is the methyl tetrahydrofolate, 8,000 microgram, and B12. But she was over methylated. So eventually she was decreased, her dose was decreased, liquid form of B12, and she was put on SAMe. So there's a balance that needs to be set to figure out whether you're over methylated or under methylated. And so that's how MTHR is very useful. Tune in for next time as we talk about another series.